we'll get going on this. Well, so the gentleman I get to bring up today, like I said, he's been a friend of mine for years now. Ever since the first day I ever saw him, he was presenting down in San Diego, and just Rose and I were there. I brought my family to see it for the first time, and everybody just like, "Oh my gosh, who is that?" And I have no idea, but he was on fire. He had us all fired up. And to be that individual, and at that time he was an ETL. I thought he was like RVP, like senior vice president, the way he was carrying on, but it's who he is. If he doesn't know the information, I'm telling you guys, he will find out about it. He is going to help you regardless of who you are. That's just, like I say, that's who he is. And for him to come on here and grow this business, and a lot of you, like myself, we're sidelined, but not a lot of us on here that on his team. He does have team on here, but for him to do what he does for everybody else, because everybody else with him comes first. That's why it's such an honor to be a friend. He's a phenomenal father, just unbelievable friend. Like I say, he's been there for Rose and I when we've needed it. And to have that type of individual pour into you today, guys, get your pen and papers ready, because I'm just saying, like the past couple times he's been on here, he's going to give you a boatload of information that we can take out and we can use. And he keeps it simple, which is such a blessing. With that being said, my dear friend, Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, Chris. It's good to see your face as well. I don't know if it's a handsome or a pretty face. I'll ask Rose later. But
I get some light on that for you.
There you go. It's a pleasure to see you, and I miss both of you, and I'm excited to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, I just want to let you know that if you have the opportunity, you have the fortune to be able to work personally with Mr. Christopher King and his beautiful wife, if you have the opportunity to do so, you're blessed. He doesn't have to. I mean, he's been able to be successful. He teases about the firehouse, but the position he was, and being able to train fighters, being able to understand individuals and connect with them at a level that most people can't, and then take that acumen into ACN and provide the same support to individuals that want to save their families' lives through this opportunity is just amazing. He loves to have fun. He loves to cook. For those of you that have been blessed enough to try, I hear it's pretty good. And there's something about fudge too. I don't know what that is, but we're gonna need to talk about that. So before I get started, just again, can you guys, if he can see you, help me. He can't hear you, but give him a little round of applause. Yes. So, and I see a few faces. Mary, I see you. Gregory, hey, what's up? I see Ishmael's background. Marvetta, I see you. Who don't I know? Heather, I don't see you, Miss Peary. What's going on? I need to see faces. Luann, I see you. I need to see some faces, because it's tough, man. It's like I'm talking to people that have bags on their heads. It's like we had, you catfished me online, and now we're at the date, and you don't want to show me who you really are. I mean, give me the opportunity to say no, at least. Can we do that? Can you show me your faces? Okay, Millicent, I'd love to see your face. We go through this, you know that. Okay, I'm gonna do this for a little bit because I'm trying to make you uncomfortable, trying to bother you just a little bit. Brent, where you at? All right, that's not Brent, but I see you, Millicent. And so at work, sneak on, girl. I want to see your face. I want to see what you look like at work. All right, so here's the interesting, and there she is. All right, I see you. So here's what I want to do. Before I get started, I'm going to give you a little bit about my background, and then we're going to get into a training that I talked to you all about yet last week. We're going to talk about SWAT. Okay. So prior to getting involved with this company, I was a senior systems engineer. I was working roughly 80 to 90 hours a week at my job. I was averaging 50 to 60 flights a year, but I was in a situation where I was making a six-figure income. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I went to school. I got good grades. I almost didn't though. Junior, senior year, I had enough. I just want to share that. But I got great grades. I went to college, did everything I was supposed to do. Um, and I remember my father saying, you need to pick something that you love to do because you'll be doing it for the rest of your life. And it sounds like great advice. For me, I heard it differently. It sounded like a life sentence. It sounded like he said, you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. Like it wasn't good, you know? And so I said, okay, well, I'll find something that can pay me well. And I decided to be a senior systems engineer. And it did. It worked out well financially, but it didn't work out well time-wise. No one told me about the time thing. Okay. So I was working all these hours, I was traveling, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm young. I don't have to worry about the time thing yet. I have time. But then my fiance and I found out we're gonna have a baby girl. And all I could think about was how wild that would be if I was never around and she didn't get to know her father. And then I remember how crushed I was at 4 years old, my father trying to explain to me that he had to go on deployment, and how heartbroken I was that one of the most important people in my life had to leave. And so I was thinking about all these things, and I needed to find a way. I didn't know how. I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt stuck. And then I bumped into a gentleman that became a mentor of mine in this industry. He opened my eyes to another way. He taught me a system that enabled me to build this business around my crazy work schedule. 80 to 90 hours a week. And the system allowed me to build this. I want you to think about that. But in 6 short months, I was able to build enough that gave me the opportunity to step away from my full-time job and go full-time in this business. My daughter was 6 months old. I was able to be there for every single important moment as a baby, every single moment, first days of school, but also picking her up, taking her to school every single day, the field trips, the show and tells, the being the father that was there, one of the only Black men as a father in this school. People looking at me crazy and I'm looking at them crazy. Like, it's not my fault. I'm not gonna get into that, but I owe it all to the training and the support that I got here through this company. And so what I want to talk to all of you today is about support, because I'm going to give you a stat. And some of you have heard the stat before. Some of you haven't, but 90% of small businesses fail within their first 5 years. 90%. It's the reason why Inc. magazine won't rank you until after your first 5 years in business, because they rank you year 2, you're gone, and year 6, there's no point. But listen to this. Out of the 90% of businesses that fail within their first 5 years, this is crazy. 90% of those 90%, so 90% of those failures fail because they're solopreneurs. When you think about this, they're the I'll do it all by myself, all the way into the dirt. Because in order to succeed in business, in order to succeed in ACN, you need a team. You need a support system. And one of the things that my mentor taught me from day one is how to develop and identify a support system, how to utilize supporting cast to get a result for everyone. And SWAT is that supporting cast. We call SWAT, SWAT stands for Special Winning Attitude Team. Okay, what does that really mean? Last week we talked about some things. This week on closing. This week I want to talk about how to support the closing in your presentations, and you support it with members who understand their assignments. What does that even mean? There are some people that are in your team. There are some people that are in your team that are great at getting customers. Can we agree? Who knows somebody that is like, if you talk to them about Vivint, it almost feels like you're talking to the company Vivint, like they know everything. Who knows somebody that when you talk to them about health share, it's like they know everything about it. And you're like, health share is new. How do you know everything? And they have all kinds of health share customers, right? Who knows someone that is like an IDCO ninja? We all know people like that. Well, you know what? You're going to need them. You're going to need a few of those people as SWAT. So one or two of those people that are great at getting customers, you want to identify who they are, and they're going to be a part of your SWAT team. Then, how many of you know people that it's like, if you want someone to sign up, like enroll as an IBO, you want that person to talk to them at the end of the presentation. Does anyone know anyone like that? They're like, man, if that person says no, just put them in front of Roxanne. It's a wrap. Like we know people that are like that. True? Okay. You want them to be a part of your SWAT team. So you have at least one person that's amazing at customers, at least one person that is amazing at enrollment. Okay. And you want them to be a part of your SWAT team. And if you can get a few of each, that's great too. How many of you know someone that is just like loves to meet new people? Like moment somebody's new in the room, they're like, oh, there's a new person. I'll see you later. I gotta go find out who they are, what they do, why they exist. Like they're that type of person. You need that person to swap. Those are people that we call greeters. You need somebody that's a greeter as swap. All right. And then how many of you know someone who is amazing with technology? Like they just remind you of Jabri Clemens. It's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how they do it, but something can go wrong. They do like some magic and then it pops up again. Their whole laptop can crap out and all of a sudden they pull up another device, plug it in, and 2 seconds later, we up and running again. All right, you need one of those. Now you might be thinking, where do I get all these people? I'm brand new. I only have one IB on my team. It's not true. You have a team of people that work with you. I see a team of people here right now. And all you have to do is get great at asking. Hey, Jabri, who do you know that loves getting customers that's really, 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 really good at it? T, who do you know that is amazing at enrolling people, that loves to do it? It just gets excited about getting people in. Catherine, who do you know that just has great energy, that loves meeting new people? They want to find out where the new people at so I can meet them. You want to put these people together. Now, what I'm going to share with you is for both in person and remote. There are a few things that are different with remote, and I'll touch on those. But I'll go through in person first. That's super easy. Everything that I did, I started in person. We are extremely effective online and offline. And I would highly recommend you be the same. Don't allow online to be a handicap. And don't allow yourself just to lean into offline saying that it's better, but the truth is you're scared of online because you don't want to learn anything new. Doesn't work. All right. So on offline, here's how SWAT works. You have the greeter, right? The excited person. You have the person who's great at customers. You got person who's great at enrollment. You have one of those people can be the presenter too, or you have the presenter. Okay. Then you have the host or the hostess. And the host or the hostess, they're part of SWAT too. They have a role. Okay. Well, actually, they have a few things they're going to do. First thing they're going to do is before anyone arrives, 10 minutes, people will probably be arriving 10 minutes before the start of the meeting. So 30 minutes before anyone arrives, what is the host or the hostess, what are they supposed to do? Anyone that's already teaching people how to do PBRs and all that stuff, you're not allowed to answer because we already know you know. But I want to hear from everyone else. And it's important that you interact if you want to grow and learn. Now, if you don't want to enroll, if you don't want to have success, don't interact. Okay. If you do, you want to go ahead and put it in the chat. What is so 30 minutes before the meeting, what is the host or the hostess supposed to do? Does anyone know? Oh, you got your hand raised. Oh, you got to put it in the chat. You got to put it in the chat. Get those Twitter fingers moving. Okay, send out reminders. That's cool. What are they supposed to do to get prepared in the house? Set the atmosphere. What does that look like? Come on, come on, come on, ACN people. Those thumbs are moving very lethargically. Music, there it is. Music, it's music. So the most important thing, the most important thing is to set the environment with upbeat music. If you notice, even Mr. Jabri Clemens has some upbeat music playing. I saw some heads bob. I saw some people moving. I saw some salsa come out of some people. I was like, what? Okay, okay, okay. I see merengue. I see you. I see you. You want upbeat music. This is important. More than anything, upbeat music. Because life is lifing. And some people are going to come from having a bad day. Some people are going to come from traffic. Some people are going to be exhausted. There are going to be all types of energy showing up. But 30 minutes before, you want to make sure you have upbeat music. You know what else you want to make sure you have? A nice, cool house. And I mean temperature. A nice, cool place to present. If it's hot because you like to keep it cozy, you're going to make your team and your guests miserable and they're going to pass out, especially if it's me. If it's hot, I can have all the energy in the world and you make me sit there, I will be nodding off in your presentation. It's not because I'm tired. It's because you wanted it cozy for you. No, this is not about being cozy. We need it to be cool. There's a reason why. Cool temperature keeps people awake. All right. So you wanted a little frosty in the house. So upbeat music, a little bit frosty. Yes, you can have all the paperwork, however your team does that. You know, you have all that stuff out. But the most important thing that I want you to remember is how people feel in the environment, in the atmosphere. Okay. So that's what the host or the hostess, they also want to make sure all their tech works. So if they need to get their Jabri Clemens there early too, ask them to get there early. Make sure all the tech works. However you're going to present, whether you're going to do a video and you're going to cast it to the TV, whether you're going to do it from a laptop, whatever you're going to do, make sure the tech works. Okay. Make sure it's simple enough that the presenter can work it, or you have somebody who's good with tech working it for the presenter. So you got the upbeat music, you got the tech working, you got the cool temperature. You're basically ready to bring people in. Yeah, if you have magazines, great. If you have paperwork, awesome. Honestly, everything for me is digital now. I don't have any paperwork. I have laptops, computers, iPads, stuff like that. But if you still are printing out stuff, print it out. Whatever you do that works for you, do it. Now, when the greeter's there, the upbeat music's there, it's game time. When everyone in SWAT is there, I'm going to give you a rule. Before you even get out of your car to walk to that PBR, to walk to that house, leave everything that deals with personal life, everything that deals with your job, leave all that in the car. Leave all of it in the car. Here's a mistake that a lot of people make, and it's not necessarily your fault. It's a societal thing. When we see each other, we don't know what to say. We're not intentional. I'm going into a house. I just dealt with traffic. I just dealt with it. So I need to tell somebody. Man, I go into the house for the PBR. Jabri, man, there was so much traffic. Oh my gosh, man, this guy cut me off. I'm so irritated. I can't believe he did that. He knew it was me in the car. He knew it was me. There's no way he should have cut me off. Pissed off, right? And then I say, Roxanne, have you ever been cut off before? It's irritating, isn't it? And now I'm just sucking the positive energy out of the entire room. Energy is felt before your voice is heard. So that means guests come in and it's like, oh, what's this nastiness? They don't know what it is, but the energy can be felt. And you don't even know that you are being very unsupportive of the environment. So you want to check your mental environment before you even get into the house. Make sure you are intentionally upbeat. Make sure when you get in the house, you know something incredible my brother always did? My brother would always say, tell me tell me like one thing good happened today, or tell me something good that happened today. Well, I can tell you what, no. Tell me something good. And so you can coach your greeters to do that. And then form, whether you're a greeter or not, if there are a lot of guests, you want to get good at asking people the questions on form: family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Some people say money, but then if you get a whale, they're going to be grossed out. So don't do money. It's family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Start to get pinpoint what's important to them, pain points. And then here's what you say as we're about to get started. You know what? You said you really love to dirt bike and you love to go to the desert. You know, I want you to pay close attention to this video because I think you're going to find a way to do more of that through this. What I'm doing, I'm telling you, this is so key. This is so key to enrollment, because instead of looking to poke holes in your opportunity, they're going to be looking for the thing that's going to help them get what they want. Tell you, I know a gentleman who is making in this industry over 6 figures a month. Not talking about ACN, just in this industry. And he taught me that. I know him personally. He taught me that. He said, Julian, you want to see your enrollment increase like crazy? Get people to have a job during the presentation. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, get people to look for the thing that is going to help them to get what they want. You do that, at the end, you ask, did you see a way? Did you see a way that you could do more dirt bike riding? Did you see a way that you could take more vacations? Did you see a way that you could get more time back? And you know what they're going to say? Yes. You see what I just did there? So now SWAT, here's what they're going to do at the end. First of all, during the presentation, SWAT has a role. Does anyone know what that is? There is a role. There is a role. Most people don't know. Most people are just watching the presenter saying, I've seen this before. That's not your role. Some of you don't say this, because some of you are going to say to participate. No, I'm not talking about that. There's an actual role that SWAT has. There's an actual role. Does anyone know? Yeah, Chris, that's not fair, bro. It's not fair. It's not fair. Chris said it. Your job is to survey the room. Your job is to survey the room. See who's doing this. See who's ha 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 ha. See who's like, yeah, that's right. See who's engaged and enthusiastic. And what they're enthusiastic about. They might get all excited when it comes to the savings. They might get excited when it comes to opportunity. They might get excited when it comes to time. They might be excited when it comes to the other part of SWAT that we're going to talk about, which is testimonials. So you're watching their reactions. You're watching their reactions and you're taking notes. That's why you have pen and paper. You're taking notes. Ooh, oh my gosh. I see Rick is loving this. Rick Kubiak. Okay, cool. I got it. Lurleen. Oh my gosh. I saw her wipe drool when they talked about savings. She's like, oh, savings. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me write that down. What? Catherine is like, let me at him. She's doing this. Oh, let me write this down. She looks hungry. Let me get it. All right. And so now I have all these written down. Here's what I teach my SWAT to do. And this is so much fun. this is so much fun. This is real too. This is what I teach my SWAT to do. You need to go up to the most enthusiastic person. And do me a favor, get there before I do, or you're gonna have to go to the second most enthusiastic. So our guys, our gals are waiting for the end to beeline it right to that person. You know what most people do at the end of a meeting? They look around like they don't know what to do. It's so weird. It's awkward as can be. And you know what part of the reason why it's awkward is because the host or the hostess wasn't taught that at the end when we say, that's a wrap, to turn the music back on. I know T is probably smiling somewhere because these are things that we taught consistently. Turn the music on. And I used to say something weird and silly at the end that was a cue for our leadership to turn the music on. The sound of upbeat music is on, beeline it to the individual that is the most enthusiastic. And what do you like the most? Remember what we talked about last week, and start the enrollment process. Now, testimonials during, okay? So we know all of the people we did form, family, occupation, recreation, motivation. The SWAT knows the type of people that are in the room. So what we used to do, and what in person, and what we still do online, is we tailor our stories to their pain points. We don't change our stories, but there are parts of our stories that really focus on their pain points, and we just really talk about that more. So I was working 80 to 90 hours. If I talk to a doctor, he's like, I'm beyond busy, I'm beyond busy, I'm beyond busy. Well, as a testimonial, I'm going to say, you know what, it's interesting. I thought because I was so busy that I wouldn't be able to do this. And then I found out that the system was designed for people that were busy like me. And now the doctor's like, you say, what? See what I'm saying? So we actually handle objections with our testimonials. And it's easier to do because if you handle a concern, it's not an objection until it's spoken out of someone's mouth. An unspoken objection is just a concern. I want you to write that down. An unspoken objection is just a concern. So if I can handle it in its infancy stages when it's just a concern before they open their mouth, then they'll say, oh, that was just a silly thought. Let me just push that away. But if I wait till they open their mouth, human nature causes the person to defend their objection, even if it's a silly one. Did y'all get that? Okay, so why do you think it's so important to know and have your testimonial canned? Because if you don't have your testimonial memorized, you won't be able to tailor it to each person, because you're going to be too busy trying to remember what to say about yourself. That's called epic failure. So if you don't know, Brian, if your people don't know who they are, how are they going to be able to help anybody? Right? So you need to memorize your own testimonial so you can actually help people. And then at the end, now everyone's fired up. We beeline it to the most enthusiastic person. And here's our goal. All the SWAT members know this. Me, Brian, Jabri, everyone. Here's what we already huddled up before the meeting and said, I'm getting the first app. No, you're not. Brian's gonna be like, no, I'm getting the first app. Jabri's like, I already got the first. No, that's not, you can't count people you signed up before. Jabri talking about afterwards. He's like, all right, well, bet I'm getting the first app. Okay. That's the type of, we have a team-like energy. And so what happens is they're waiting for me to say the silly thing and for the tech person to turn the music on at the end, because they're like, man, I'm getting the first app. As soon as they turn the music on, it's a wrap. And so the music turns on, and then guess what happens? We try to go for the most enthusiastic person. Brian trips me. He trips me and he gets to the most enthusiastic person first. But the second most enthusiastic person is close. So I trip into that person and I'm like, hey, so what did you like the most? What did you like the most, Rick? Oh, you like the money? I like the money too. What did you like the most, Daryl? Oh, you like getting more time? Brother, I can, man, Fish, I can relate. I like getting more time too. Let me ask you another question. Did you see more of an opportunity to make money or save money? Let me ask you a question. Did you see more of an opportunity to make money or save money? What I'm giving you right now is gold, and you better be grateful that this is recorded, because I'm telling you what has allowed me to enroll countless people over and over and over again. Remember what I said last week? It's not about manipulating someone or getting them to do something they don't want to do. Closing is really just supporting people that usually don't know how to make decisions, guiding them through a process to make a decision that's best for them based on the things they said are important to them, showing them how ACN aligns with those things and how it will be beneficial for them to partner. That is what we're doing. Okay, so I asked him, what do you like? What did you see? Are you leaning more towards making or saving? He says, making. All right, I'm brand new. All my job now is said, perfect. I want to introduce you to, who am I going to introduce him to? Remember that SWAT member that was great at enrolling? That guy. Let's bring you over here and introduce you to Mr. Brian Baker, because he's that guy, right? And now Brian's going to ask him, well, I'm glad. Oh, you said making money? I get it. Let me ask you a question. What's the one thing holding you back from getting started today? You know what happens a lot of times, and you won't know until you start asking this question. You know what a lot of people have said to me? Take a guess. Put it in the chat, quick. I want to see who gets this. If you get this, you're a genius. Take a guess. Yeah, we already knew Daryl's a genius. Exactly. That's what a lot of people say, nothing. Do me a favor. When someone says nothing's holding them back, don't look surprised. Okay? Go with it. Say nothing, perfect. When someone says nothing, I say perfect. Let me show you how to get the paperwork out of the way. Everything is digital. I'll walk you through the process. It's very simple. Perfect. Let me show you how to get the paperwork out of the way. Everything is digital. It's really simple. I'll walk you through the process. All right. What if I talk to someone, they lean, they're like, oh, saving money. I love to save money. I clip coupons. I save. I can't wait for the Costco thing to come in the mail so I know what I could save at Costco. I just love saving. Save. Right. Some of y'all, I'm speaking your language. I saw a thumbs up. So if they say that, then you say, perfect. Let me introduce you to Jabri. Why? Because we had identified at the beginning that Jabri is a killer. He's a ninja at getting customers. So I'm introducing to Jabri, and Jabri is going to take him through a quick survey. Knowing Jabri, because he's so good at customers, he already has a survey in his head. So he's going to take him through this quick survey to identify what service would be the easiest. Hear what I said. What service would be the easiest for that person to try? Notice I didn't say that's going to pay the most residual income. I said, what service is going to be the easiest for them to try? Why? People aren't intentional. They don't even know what the goal is of the presentation. Here's what the goal is. The goal is to help the new person get results. That's what the goal is. And so what does results look like? Getting a handful of customers and getting a few business partners so that they can get closer to being promoted. So one of the biggest things SWAT can do is go in there with the right intention. What's the game plan? We're going to get customers and we're going to get business partners. What type of prospects are we going to focus on? The easiest ones. So if I come over there like Poindexter and I'm like, Jabri, so I'd love to become a customer, but I need to know about the gigawatts and the gigawatts. I need to know about what you guys are really doing and what do me a favor, tell me what who's your competition? What does ACN stand for? How long have you been in business? Where can I find information if I want to find it on the spectrum? Like, no one cares. Okay. So here's what Jabri's going to say. You know what? Those are all great questions. Here's what we can do. Let's help you with this real simple service that is going to support your friend in his business because he's trying to get promoted. And then we can set up another meeting for us to go through all the details so we can find some of the services that will really be beneficial to you. You don't want to waste time, and a lot of people waste time. Same thing with a business partner. So Jabri, this looks great, and I'm a business professional and I've done a lot of business. So I need to read the entire details on all the terms so that I can know, okay, it's great. Great. Do me a favor. You go over here and read this. I'm going to come right back to you so that you can get a good understanding. We could talk. Now I'm going to go look for, if I'm Jabri, someone else who's ready to get enrolled right now. The goal is to get results, not to get hung up with someone who is what I call an ask hole. Okay? I didn't say what you thought I said. I didn't. They're an ask hole. I said it very clearly on purpose. Their whole goal is to hem you up in a corner somewhere and ask you questions until you die. We're not playing that game at my meetings, ever. And then for new people, because they were able to answer all the questions, they walk away with their chest out and like, Chris, I was able to answer all their questions. And Chris is like, did you get an app? And, well, no, but that wasn't the purpose. That wasn't the purpose. Remember, SWAT has a purpose. Now, really briefly, when someone enrolls, remember I said, Brian, myself, Jabri, we're beelining it for the most enthusiastic person. There's a reason. I know T knows this. She knows this. There's a reason. She's seen me do this a million times. There is a reason why. Because the moment I get that app, and I'll sign it up like 30 seconds, the moment I get that app signed, I'm going to say, Jabri, can you turn the music down a little bit? Can you turn the music down a little bit? Can everyone help me welcome Rick to the team? Woo! And my dog's congratulating you too, Rick. And so here's why that's so important. Because there are guests in the room that are thinking, man, I wonder if anyone actually even signs up for this stuff, because this sounds pretty. Welcome to the team. Wait, I guess so. Man, let me sign up. I'm signing up. It's psychological. Rick just gave everyone else who was interested permission to sign up. And then all of a sudden you hear Jabri. Jabri says, and everyone, help me welcome Kenneth Roberts to the team. Woo! And then the other dudes, now guess what's happening? SWAT member says, Daryl, man, those are 2 spots that are gone. You want to get that last spot at the top so that you can override everything that we're going to build, because this is the first of 3 major meetings that we're going to do. And the people that enroll in the next meetings, guess whose team we're going to be in? The top 3. Daryl's like, man, you said I am a genius. I'm signing up right now. I'm going to get that top 3rd spot. Everyone, can you help me welcome Daryl to the team? Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. How many of you see how simple this was? At the end, now everyone there realizes that it works even before they started. So they're excited to see it because they saw the example. And now they're fired up. I mean, I can't wait to have my own meeting. This is great. This is great. You got customers. Man, I can do this. Oh, everyone, let me let you know that Chris, even though he's new, him signing up those 3 people and those customers, he just got his first promotion wrapped up. Can we give him it means he's gonna make $500, $500. He made 5. Chris didn't do anything. I didn't even hear him say much. He was stuttering the whole time that he tried to talk about himself. And he's always been good at talking about himself. So you mean to tell me all I need to do is stutter, fumble, and I can make, oh my gosh, this is gonna be, so people get excited, but you have to set it up that way. This is why the environment is so key. Now online, we have upbeat music. You all heard Jabri's music at the beginning, okay? At a presentation, we have upbeat music. We have people, I tell everyone, make sure your guests are on 5 minutes before, no matter what. No matter what. Keep the music low. We talk to each other. The greeter, hi, how's everyone doing? Hey, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And we just go around like round robin. And we do, what do you do for a living? Occupation, recreation, motivation. The only difference is a round robin. And now we know all of those points. We have SWAT there. SWAT's going to give testimonials during the presentation. SWAT's going to be watching everyone's facial expressions on the screen to see who's enthusiastic. SWAT's going to be texting SWAT members back and forth saying, Brian, hey, Kenneth looks real interested. I'm going to get him into the breakout room and talk to him, and we're going to get him enrolled. SWAT is texting back and forth to communicate during the meeting. That is their role. And at the end, they've already texted me who they're going to enroll. And so I can say in the breakouts, hey, Kenneth, you're going to go with Brian into breakout room 1. All right. Catherine, you're going to go with Jabri into breakout room 2. Rick, you said you were leaning more towards customers. We have Lorleen here. She's incredible at answering questions on customers. You're going to go into breakout room 3 with Lorleen, and she can do, so now we break out and they have the same goals that they had in person, But did you see how I did that? Here's the mistake that I see a lot of people make with this. When it comes to remote, they're just sitting watching the presentation. No one can see your hands. Text your people, communicate. Oh man, you see how enthusiastic Kenneth is? Yeah. At the end, I got Kenneth in the break room. Cool. I got all that. And then send who's enthusiastic, send that list to the presenter. And the presenter has their phone and they can say, okay, cool. Kenneth, you're going with so-and-so. So-and-so, you're going with so-and-so. I'll pop into the break out rooms here and there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring everyone back into the main room afterwards. You know why? So we can say, oh, to the team, Kenneth. I want everyone who didn't sign up to see it. What we did is we created the same environment that we create in person. And that's why a lot of people feel that in person is more effective, because they don't know how to do online yet. To create the same results, you need to figure out how to translate those energy transfers that you would have in person onto a platform. And so you use the text message to interact, to communicate, so that way the presenter is informed and they can quarterback and pass people to and through the breakout rooms afterwards. All right, I'm done. This is a lot. There's a lot. So I know we went over this, but this is my last day this month, and I wanted to make sure I gave you something that was solid, that could increase your enrollments, because with the changes coming up with RVP, with everything that's happening this year, the opportunity is tremendous, but it'll only be tremendous if you're intentional. Don't go into ACN doing ACN haphazardly and randomly. Go in intentionally, because time is of the essence. Time is the most valuable thing we have, because we never get it back. So with that being said, Mr. Christopher King, I will turn the call back over to you.